Welcome to the 109th episode of the MC Knitting Adventures podcast. My name's Colleen.
And my name is May. Welcome, returning viewers. And for those of you watching us for the first time, we're so glad you could join us. On today's adventure podcast, we went to Ridgeway, Ontario, which is around the Niagara region. When we were there, we thought we would pop in. We've been there before.
And we visited the
Creative Knitter.
Excellent.
Yes, I remembered. I can't believe Colleen's in shock. Beautiful store. Love the area. We'll talk all about that in our adventure. And also today, we're going to talk about the winner
of the Timber Yarns giveaway.
And we're excited to share that winner with you, but we're not going to share that until the end of the video. And before we get into all our adventure and all that other stuff that Colleen does, Colleen will talk about what we're wearing.
Perfect. So May is wearing one of her favorites, and that is the Agent 99 cowl by Dawn Maurer. Great pattern.
Agent 99.
Okay, Agent 99. And the cool thing was, I was trying to remember where this yarn came from. And I know it's cotton, and I found out that it does have a little bit of viscose in it. And we got this in Scotland.
Wow, that's why I like it so
in
much.
your hometown.
Wow.
Saltcoats. There we go. And it's Sirdar Amalfi.
Now, in hindsight, Colleen, I should have worn a dark shirt, but I didn't, and I didn't want to change.
You look great.
Yes, okay.
It looks really nice on you.
But in hindsight, I would have worn maybe blue or black underneath. Probably blue. Because you can.
One of those things. There's a little bit of blue. There's black in there too.
Oh, is there? Okay.
She could wear blue. She could wear black. It would all be good.
Anyway, it is what it is today, and I'm just having one of those days.
So that's what May is wearing, and I am wearing something called the Fetish, and that's by Laura Nelkin. And you can see in this picture that you can wear it as a bracelet, so it's kind of a double wrap bracelet, or you can wear it as a necklace. And what I did was I put a magnetic clasp on it so that it would be easier to do, and I'm quite happy with that. It looks really good. I'm pleased with it, and it's nice and light. It's a little cooler today, so I probably could have worn something knitwear-ish, but I really do like this, so I'm happy with that.
Cooler as in 21. That's in some countries. That's probably. I saw them in Newfoundland yesterday, and they were wearing parkas. So exactly. 21 is still pretty nice out.
That is true.
Nice enough for us to have an ice cream anyway.
Yes. We've been known to have ice cream. So that's what we're wearing, and next we're going to talk about finished objects. My first work in progress is the water bottle sling, and that's by a River of Yarn. Great pattern. Now, as I mentioned before, the pattern calls for a worsted weight kind of cotton, but when I bought the kit at the Fergus Yarn Festival, it came with the Fibra Natura flax, which is lovely to work with. And so what I had to do was I had to do a little bit of work on this. So I made the strap a little wider. I'm just going to throw the bottle of water in there. There you go. And that is what I had left.
Yarn chicken.
Yarn chicken. Exactly. But I'm pleased. It's going to be good. You can either throw it over one shoulder or across your body.
Right, yep.
But it's good. And I have a taller water bottle, which will fit nicely in there as well.
Nobody's going to steal your water bottle. That's all I know. Like, you could go pick a ball with this and nobody will touch it.
Exactly, because it's purple. There you go.
That's not the reason.
Oh.
They don't say, I'm not going to touch that water bottle because it's purple. They say, I'm not going to touch that water bottle because it's knitted.
Yes, or crocheted. Crocheted, by the way. It is crocheted.
Oh.
I'm quite pleased with how that came out. So that was the first thing. Now, the second thing, you've seen this pattern before, and that is the Whippy Wash Mitt by K.F. Jones of the Bakery Bears. Once again, love the pattern.
You've been doing a lot of these because I've seen this picture on the podcast a lot.
You have. But the cool thing is, look at what the yarn did.
It's candy cane.
It is candy cane, but it's actually called O Canada. So that's suds, which is the cotton that I've been using when I've made these, but this one actually has a stripe in it. There's another one that's a Christmas colorway, which I don't remember the name of, but same idea, except it's got green and red and white.
There we go.
So I think it came out nicely. I had no idea that's what it was going to do. It looked all speckledy. And then what I did, because it was going to be white, and I didn't want it to be half white, so I manipulated this cotton. So what I did was, the other thing I made was a Puffy Clouds Face Scrubby by Sarah Gross. And once again, you've seen these before. But what I did was I took enough white to do that center ring, and then I manipulated it so all the outside was the red and white.
Oh, well, that was a good idea. That
I
turned
thought
out
that
nice.
made it nice. Yes, so that's
very
that.
nice.
So trying to do a little bit of something for me, a little bit of something for a booth, and just keep going. Okay, back to something for me. Okay.
Because it's all about you.
And well, not always, but
No.
sometimes. So my next finished object is called the Chillo Collar, and that's one of the Lola's Choice kits by Laura Nelkin. Now we've got a much better model than I am,
That's
and I'll
nice.
let you hold that one up.
Wow, that's nice.
So when you get the kit, it comes with the beads, it comes with this cotton, it's a pearl cotton, it's called Valdani 5. It came with this pendant as well, and it came with these seed beads, and then these kind of oblong beads. And I really am pleased with how it came out. So you can decide how long you want to have it, which is nice. You kind of do one half of it, and then you leave it, the stitches on hold, and then you do the other part of it. So I am quite
So would
pleased
you
with
have
that
to be an advanced knitter to do this?
You will have had to have done a little bit of work with beads, but Laura Nelkin, in all of her patterns, gives instructions on how to work with the beads.
Very nice.
Yeah, so
Nice.
I think this one was a full 40-minute video about how to do all the things you needed to do.
That turned out really nice.
All right, so
Great job.
Thank you very much. So that's that. Now, back to work. So what I did while we were away, because you need to have something easy in the car, and so what I was working on is some of these baubles. So these knit Christmas balls, just in case we're going to sell some in a booth. And I used the Biz Scott Biz Sock, and I did, actually did more than one, but I'm just going to show you one. So one is in the colorway, which is Ho Ho Ho. I bet you know it's a Christmas colorway. And the other one is in there, a rainbow colorway. Same still kind of yarn. I would love to make some socks out of this, I have to tell you, but work
Right.
in process. Look at this. I could have earrings. It would be great.
Those would be nice earrings.
There we go. They're nice and light. The balls inside are plastic.
And this is like Pride colors. So it is Pride month, so
Exactly.
happy Pride, and
There we are.
those are great.
So that was my last finished
Nice.
objects. So a little bit of work, a little bit of me, and now it's a little bit of you.
Well, I have been so busy.
Yes, you have been
busy. And you know, we talk about having this booth, and I have a whole new appreciation for people that do this, because it seems to me, I don't know if it's just me or if you feel the same way sometimes, I take 4 steps forward and 10 steps back. I try something, it doesn't work, I mess it up, I have to redo it, and that's where I'm at, and I'm a little bit frustrated today. I don't know if you can tell on the video.
No, you're laughing and happy. There you go.
But inside I'm frustrated. I have all this work to do, and what I did was I bought a shelf at a secondhand store for behind the booth so we could have some shelving.
Right.
It needed to be secured because it was a wall shelf, so I needed to put some legs on
Which
it.
you did a great job
Which
of.
it was good, and that turned out okay. So then I had to build a bottom shelf, which was fine. And
Everything's
then-
good so far.
Everything's good so far. Then I had to sand it. Then I painted it, and then after I painted it, I put a coat of shellac on it.
Okay.
And I brought it downstairs to see what it looked like on the table, and I hate the color.
Oh no.
I can't. I can't do it. I can't do the color. So now I have to take the shelf, and now I have to sand it all down, take the shellac off and the paint and everything else, and then I have to repaint it. You know what I mean? Like that.
10
yeah,
steps?
10.
No, 4 steps forward, 10
steps back.
10 steps forward would be great.
Yeah, but I haven't gotten any forward steps in the last little while. So I have been busy, but just things aren't working out. But we'll get there.
will.
That's the problem when you think you can do everything.
Well, but you should have confidence because you can do everything.
I can't. I really can't. In my mind I can, but my body tells me no, you can't.
I think she can do everything. It'll
Anyway.
all work out.
Thanks for listening. I appreciate my little rant.
So that's our finished objects, and next we're going to talk about works in progress. Before I talk about my works in progress, I want to mention that the person who's done the baubles pattern is the knitting tutor called Stacy Lewis. And I've mentioned her before, but I didn't want to miss out on that. So now works in progress, and hopefully this will make me feel a little bit better. So my first work in progress is something for me, and it is the Anguli cowl. Now this is by Hilary Smith Callis. Great pattern. Done a lot of these for May. Sometimes you make the stripes yourself, so you use two different skeins of yarn. And in this case, I'm just using one skein of yarn because it's doing all the striping for me.
Beautiful.
May is going to look gorgeous in this. Let's just be honest. So the yarn, which is brilliant, is the Songbird Yarn and Fibers, and it's the Blue Jay. Wow. There's what it is.
And the reason it's the Blue Jay is because we took the picture in Niagara Falls when we were with my mom.
That's right.
When I looked out the window, there was this beautiful Blue Jay, and
Yeah.
then that kind of inspired you to get me Blue Jay yarn.
It did. That's all it takes. Now, the other thing that's very cool is we were talking about the Christmas baubles, which could also be Hanukkah baubles, and this yarn
Would be perfect.
would be perfect. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to leave May with half of a cowl. That would just not be appropriate. But there's always extra left when
Yeah,
I'm
that'd
done.
be great.
So this yarn, plump, wonderful, feels fantastic. You're going to like that around your neck.
I am. It's
And you
lovely.
know when you were saying you needed a darker color?
Yeah,
There it is.
There it is.
So it'll get done, and she'll look great in that. So that's something for me. Now something for me. See, once again, it's about me. All right, so I bought this yarn at Pink Flower Lady Yarns, and it is Ancient Arts Yarns, and it is their little nettle soft. So I've never had any yarn that has nettle in it, and it is knitting up beautifully. The pattern I've had in forever, and it is called Pearlless, and it's by Romy Hill. And this pattern you make without ever doing a purl stitch, which is fun when you know, sometimes people's knits and pearls are different tensions, but this is really amazing. And the yarn is knitting up so beautifully. There it is. So this is going to be one of those things that you're going to have to block to get all the length and width of it that you need, but feel that.
I know. It feels
There's
beautiful.
not any cashmere in it. But I mean, I've only heard of nettle as far as stinging nettle, which is I think where this comes from, but stinging nettle and this nettle, as soft as this is,
Yes.
different.
This is a gorgeous color. Great.
Yes.
I love the pattern here. I like that.
Yes.
And it's just the yarn feels so soft.
And you know what I was thinking? This is what I usually do, and then I end up making a cowl for me.
I was thinking the exact
thought,
same thing.
If I do this and stitch
That's
the ends,
beautiful.
that would look nice on
Yeah, I like that.
you.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's
That's
something
great.
to come.
Yeah.
So anyway, so sometimes you can hack a big shawl pattern and make it something smaller. Now, you said you like the color. It's called Contented Grapes.
No
Of
wonder.
course. There we are. All right, so that's my second work in progress. And my last work in progress isn't crochet, isn't knitting, and what's that, May?
It is a popsicle.
It's a popsicle. And if you were back in Scotland, what would you call
I
it?
would call it a nice lolly.
There it is. So KF Jones of the Bakery Bears is doing Summer of Stitching, and she's going to do some cross stitch. Once again, you need to be one of their patrons, but this is something that she did as a sample. So she basically went through the materials that you needed and then showed you a little bit of a cross stitch, and then I just finished it off. So
And she calls it a nice lolly.
she calls it a rainbow ice lolly. That's
Well,
what she
isn't that
calls
cute?
it. So what I'm going to do, I think there's two options. Option one is I kind of cut out a square with that in it and put it as part of a project bag, or I may make it long and just make it have be fringes on both ends and make it a bookmark.
I like the bookmark idea. That's great.
I know,
It's a good
because
idea.
we know some people who like to read,
Who
so
read,
that
yeah.
would be nice. I could even write ice lolly underneath it. I could do that. So those are my works in progress. And May, how about you works
I'm
in
not
progress?
talking about it. I've decided.
She's not talking about
It's
it.
all right. I'm just having a day.
All right, so there are some, I'm just going to talk about it. There are some works in progress. They're in the garage. They are going to get done, and they'll be amazing.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Those are,
You know, I feel envy these knitters and you and everything. You knit something and you had a nice product at the end. I feel
Right.
like, you know, anyway, we won't go with
no,
that.
you know what? I'm going to talk about this just for a second. So when you are a knitter or a crocheter, you will know that you can knit something, make a mistake, and rip it out and start again. And so that's what's nice about knitting, is you never have to worry that you're not going to end up with a finished project of some sort, because you just rip it out and start again. Now, when you've done that 10 times, sometimes it becomes a whole different project. But I have to tell you, when I'm sewing and I've cut fabric and I've either cut it incorrectly or something happens in the process and I lose the fabric that I put into it, it's like, ugh. So I think that's what's happening with you out
Yes,
in the
not
garage.
only are we talking about the painted, unpainted, painted
Right.
shelving that I
Right.
did, I'm working with resin, so I spilled resin on some of my projects. I'm trying to sand it off.
Right.
It's just a mess. It's a mess right
Okay.
now. So I'm glad to be here with you.
Oh,
I'm
good.
excited to be here with you.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so kind of diversion from the garage. So,
right.
but when you bring it up, it's like triggering me.
Okay, I will stop talking. And next we're going to talk about our adventure.
As I mentioned in the intro, that we went to Ridgeway in the Niagara Falls area. We love it. We always like to drop into our favorite store around that area, which is called the
Creative Knitter.
Creative Knitter, because it's so nice and bright. Love the little area. Love it around there. It was a little rainy when we were there last time, but that's okay. We still enjoyed the trip. And so we have put a podcast in before about this particular store because we love it so much. And for those of you who didn't see that one, we'll just put the little video in now. We can talk through it as we talk about the video.
Sounds good.
Entering the store, it's got a nice little sitting area at the beginning there, Colleen.
It does. I think they do classes at that front. Oh my gosh, did you see that cow?
I know. I wish I'd got more of that cow because I really wanted to show you so that you could maybe knit that one for me. So we might have to go back on the video too.
Oh, look at the project bags. Oh my goodness.
And
So
this is what
good.
you see. Look at their inventory. I don't know if it's gotten more or what happened, but their shelves are
I
totally
think they
full.
built some higher shelves, that's for sure.
Yeah, it looks
Oh,
great.
it's beautiful. And I love how they set up their yarn. It's so pretty.
Love all the colors, like how they kind of go together. They planned it that way, I'm sure.
Exactly. Looks a little bit like a rainbow.
Yeah. Now, here you are down here, and you're looking at this bag. I know you're going to buy something down here. I know it. I know it just by how you're talking and you're investigating. I thought, I have to come back there and see what's going on. Because you were so taken on with this bag.
I was taken on by this bag, that's for sure.
And so I thought, okay, there's the bag. It looks like a bag to me, but I guess these two boxes fit inside the bag if
Yes,
you like.
If you like. You can buy the boxes and they will go, in fact, into that bag.
And that was Julia.
Julia. Yes. And look at Coco Knits. They have so many nice products. So they've got Coco Knits, lots of great yarns. They've got lots of Canadian yarn dyers, which are fantastic. And that is a Stephen West shawl that Julia knit. And she said she's had enough of Stephen West for a little while. But she really liked it. She enjoyed doing it.
Look at the details on that.
I know.
Like, she was talking about that one seam there. What is?
The bind off had so many stitches in it.
But she did a great job.
Look at all these project bags. And what they do now is they will actually crank a tube for you. It costs $20 for them to do that, but then you'll be able to have that. And
Then you just sew on the heel and the toe. Is that how it works?
yeah. So you can buy them already cranked, or you can bring some yarn in to crank it. Look at those little sweaters, so cute.
I know those people from that.
Ginger snap that.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Look at all those nice things. Lots of stitch markers,
Sorry about the
beautiful
camera work there.
sweaters.
Oh, Colleen
what
doesn't know about
happened?
this. That was
Wait
the
a
end of the video. I'm at home now, and I saw these Canada geese walking across the road
Right.
with their babies, and it's so funny. They can stop traffic.
They can.
They can stop like 4 lanes of traffic, and they just take their time, and they're
There
not in a
we
rush.
go.
I thought you might enjoy that when we got home.
I'm a little in
know,
shock.
Colleen didn't know about this in the video, and then I went in the backyard. I thought, what's going on here? We feel like Dr. Dolittle, because I went in the backyard after this, and there was a bunny rabbit looking at me, and I thought,
Was it?
they've been housing at our house when we were gone.
Maybe that's why there's so many. They've just been busy.
And then I thought, I have to cut the grass. If they could just keep... There's the
Oh,
bunny.
there's the bunny.
Yeah, in the backyard. I thought, okay, there you go. And that was that. That was the trip.
There we go. Well, the end of that video was a bit of a shock. I know she'd mentioned Canada geese, but I didn't realize that there was quite the flock that there was. Walking all over the neighborhood. There we go.
Yeah.
But the store was nice. Julia was fantastic. We have spoken with her before. Stephanie, who's the owner of the Creative Knitter, wasn't there that day. And I was going to get in contact with Stephanie so we could see her because we missed her the previous time. But the weather was so hit and miss, and we thought if the weather's nice and sunny, we wanted to be, at the lake, and because so we couldn't plan ahead the same way. But Julia was lovely. She was talking about that she has bought an antique knitting machine, and she is loving it, and she's got it working, and so that's fantastic. There's still things she's working out, but that was what she was talking about. But she likes the machine. And the other thing is she was so helpful with that bag. Those little boxes will fit inside. Now you have to buy them separately, and so that was interesting. It would definitely make you have a square bottom bag if you wanted one. But that's that. So I'll talk a little bit more on that in souvenirs, perhaps. I might do that. But that Stephen Westshall was quite something.
And she's a great knitter. Wow.
I know.
I think she does a lot of, she did that little sweater there, and she did a lot of,
and we were talking about the little sweaters,
right.
and she said that would be great for a booth, and so she's thinking about doing something like that with them. So they were really, really pretty. So we had a great time, so thank you, Julia, so much, and thank you, Stephanie. We're sorry we missed you, but we'll be back because we will, for sure. Next, we're going to talk about souvenirs. My first souvenir, can you guess? Can you guess what it was? It was one of those bags. And it's by Delacue, and it's called a maker's bag. And there were 5 or 6 different colors, and I did fall in love with it a little bit. Now, I have had a needle organizer by Delacue, and I liked it. So I wasn't worried that I wouldn't enjoy it. And it was nice to be able to be at the Creative Knitter and see it in person. And so this is what it says. It says, what makes it a maker's bag? So there is a stitch marker pin, which I will show you. There is a yarn cutter, which I will show you. There's a yarn feeder, which I will show you. And there's a dot journal. And then there's something that isn't even mentioned in here. And you can see there's lots of things to this bag. Some of them I wasn't even sure about till I got home. All right. So let's talk about it. First of all, you have an adjustable strap.
It's very sturdy.
It's sturdy, which is going to be good when you put lots of yarn in it. Now, here is the pin, and there are some stitch markers on there. And so it's just like a kilt pin. This comes undone, so that's kind of nice. Then in here, let me make sure I find the right spot. This is the little book that you could replace if you need to. It is a dot journal. Then this is the thing I didn't even know was there, and that is a darning needle. So I'm gonna have to figure out where to put that, but that's that. It's nice that it's snapped like that, so you're not gonna catch it in a zipper. There is where, it's a lovely symbol. I'll get May to get a picture of that. There's a nice symbol, and that's a yarn feeder that you have. And then let me see if I can get this on this side. Then it's like the top of a dental floss thing that will cut your yarn if you need it to be.
Wow.
So
That's quite the bag.
it's quite the bag. It almost knits itself.
Well, there's pockets back at the back.
Pockets at the back.
Zippers here.
Yes, and there is at the bottom, there is a piece of cardboard. Now I put it down to make it have a square bottom, and that's where those little boxes will fit in if you want to. If you're going to use it a little bit more like a purse, then that's why I didn't buy the boxes. I think, I've got one of the Cocoa Knits. It's a magnetic folder, and so it's going to fit nicely in here. So
I'm glad you like
quite
it.
pleased. I am.
You can have one of these too if you want to give up your firstborn.
You know what? For all the stuff that I had in it, it's not too bad. So that was my first souvenir. Now, when we were in Niagara on the Lake, because we did go to Niagara-on-the-Lake. There is a store that we like, which is called Irish Designs. And there is a lot of lovely knitwear there. And some of the things, they're just gorgeous. But there was this cowl, and I thought, okay, cowl doesn't need too much yarn to do. And it had cables and all kinds of good thing. And I thought, I'm going to buy some tweed. So the creative knitter actually hand dyes it. So Stephanie hand dyes it. And this is called Creative DK Tweed. This is called Lavender Fields. What other color would I have? Mm-hmm. And I said to Juliet, one skein's enough. And she said yes. So she showed me one of the samples that she'd done. And I thought, okay, if it will do that, it'll do what I want to do. So I'm going to design a little something, use that skein, and then I'm going to have a nice purple cowl for the winter.
Very nice.
Yes. Now, that was my creative knitter. Enjoyed it immensely. I'm going to so look forward to using that bag. But when I made my chillo collar, I'm just going to let you hold this up, my dear. When I made this, there are these beads, and I don't have any of those beads. And so I had to figure out where could I get them, because I like this pattern. I could put a circular pendant here, and I've got some of those. I thought, okay, well, I could make some of these, put them in a booth perhaps. I could do that. But where am I going to get the beads? So I dug online, and I have ordered from Caravan Beads before. Great service, by the way. They are amazing. And so I ordered some beads. Oh. So these are all different colors, and I have some of the cotton that's similar to that. And so these will all go. I just have to switch up the beads. So I just picked up some. That's going to make us have some things to go in a booth. So the nice thing is we're doing soap, we're doing all kinds of things, but we've got one of our craft fairs that we're going to do that's going to be knitwear, etc.
Right.
And some knitted jewelry.
And
so
we'll show you the booth and the setup and everything like that as we get closer to the dates and the time.
That
we're
sounds
just
great.
We're just in the progress part. Well,
we're in the
steps
process. 10 steps.
Yes, we won't go there right now.
No, we're not going there.
Okay.
All right. Now, May, souvenirs for you.
I'm not talking about that either. I got no souvenirs. I have nothing. The souvenirs I probably ate them.
Oh, that's another story.
I probably was eating my feelings.
We can talk about that later.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, we won't even talk about my weight
Did you
gain.
see that this necklace and this bag match so nice? Oh, just noticed
I'm
that.
glad you like that.
That's good. So thanks so much for watching.
We haven't
that was
mentioned
close.
the winner.
Oh, that
This
was
was a
very
big,
close.
exciting part. This
I
is what
know.
you've all been waiting
I
for.
know. Thanks so much for watching. I'm saying.
Bye.
But let's get the winner. So let's talk about what the winner wins.
Yes.
All right.
This is pretty exciting.
So this is the Timber Yarns. It's almost like a gift pack. So there are two 200-gram skeins of self-striping yarn. There was a 20-gram mini, kind of for toes and heels and maybe cuffs if you can fit it in.
Stitch markers?
There's some stitch markers as well. And I just wanted to mention a couple of patterns, just because you may want to try something. I have some Timber Yarns yarn. So I have some that's already wound up, ready to go.
It's great colors, by the way.
Love it. So I've got options now. So here's a pattern by Kay Jones. It just came out. It's called the Fairground Socks.
Reminds me of the licorice all sorts.
It does a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, that would be great in that. So that's something that you could do with this. No, I'm not telling you what to do if you win, but I'm just saying you could. The other thing you could do is if you'd rather just make some mitts, these are called the Dynamite mitts. That's also by Kay Jones. It was just some things that I'd seen about self-striping yarn, just to give you some ideas, unless you were just going to make some self-striping socks.
So the winner is Colleen.
The winner is Eleanor K 3692. Perfect.
Eleanor, congratulations. We're very proud of you for winning, and we're excited to get these off.
Exactly. So what I need you to do is contact us on our Ravelry group. So it's MC Knit Adventures. Just send us a message there and just say, I'm Eleanor K 3692. I won the prize. Here is my address, and then we'll get it mailed out to you as quickly as we can, because we just want you to have it. And Heather from Timber Yarns, thank you very
Yes,
much
thank you
again.
very much.
That was very nice of you to do that, and I'm sure Eleanor appreciates it as well. Now, Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you're seeing, give us a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe. We appreciate that. We've gone up in some subscribers in the last little bit, and that allows us to do this and continue to do it for you. So until next time,
You take care.